road is so cold and grows every night. You walk alone. The longest still is the weight of parents who may never know. Don't you walk alone, don't you stray from home. God only knows just who is waiting. Don't you raise your voice, don't make any noise. What a scary choice to be employed. We're afraid of everyone, we'll know whatever come and save us, save us. Well, when they say they good, I don't know how they could enslave us, erase us. I'll just wait here, someone...
All right. Welcome to the Clashuals podcast, episode 12. Talking about thanks for the sub, Bubba. Anyway, talking about we just finished watching the Worlds,
A
and
world
I'm
championship.
so blown out that what happened. But that's not the first topic. Obviously, we're gonna talk about it. So, Big B, how you been doing, buddy? I know you've been a little busy. Obviously, I've been busy with work, so this is like the perfect time after the
Yes,
final match of Worlds,
the perfect time at
yeah,
6:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
right? It's better than, like, waking up, "Oh, shit, we gotta do the pod, come up with some topics." This is a great time.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you guys don't know,
luckily for us, I've been awake for 4 hours already, so
dude, I'm so mad I didn't wake up in time, like, my internet was fucking up, so I set an alarm for 12, but I have I have an iPhone, and I have the little thing on the side of my phone, I have it clicked to red. I was like,
it was silent.
yeah, it was silent, and I did set an alarm after, and then it's like, I woke up. I'm so glad I woke up in time to catch the last hour or so of it. I wish I caught the whole thing because,
I tried to tell you last night, like, "Hey, listen,
yeah,
tomorrow's
I
a
should
big
have listened to
day.
you.
Tomorrow's a big day. It's gonna start early. Try to catch some Z's while you can." I
Yeah.
got a good like 4 or 5 hours of sleep before I had to get up. In fact, actually, I mentioned last week about my wife playing Sims.
Uh-huh.
So I went to bed. She was like, "Well, I'm gonna stay up play some Sims." Well, my alarm went off, and I got up to come in here and start watching, and she still hadn't even gone to bed yet.
Damn. Yeah,
We just crossed each other. It was like, "All right, your turn in the bed. I'm going. I'm going to do my video game stuff now."
so what's funny, so, like, I had Thursday off, obviously, it was Thanksgiving for us in the United States. So, Thanksgiving, I went to bed at 6 p.m. in order to watch the Worlds for Friday morning for me. I don't know what is else for everyone, but, and then I did it Friday night as well. I was in here till 8 p.m., which I kinda regret, and then went to sleep at, like, maybe I woke up at 1:30 that time. This was the only one I, like, fucked up. I was like, "Oh, fuck." I'm glad I did wake up because I caught the last, like, couple matches, and, I wish I woke up for the whole thing because I missed a lot.
Well, I knew Friday and Saturday were going to be really, really long work days for me. So I got up at 4 a.m. to watch, even though the coverage started at 2.
Yeah.
So each day I think I missed one full match and then part of whatever the second match was.
Mhm.
But I still got to see most of it. And then this morning I woke up and I missed part of the first match, but I ended up getting to see the end of it. So all but about 3 matches, I got to see a pretty good chunk of live, which was really cool. I thought it was really cool how they did the arena this year,
Oh, yeah,
and
dude, it was sick.
yeah, with all the lights. Like last year, like I get it. They want to do like a Clash themed arena last
Yeah.
year. Last year just kind of seemed cartoonish, and
Mhm.
I don't know. Quite frankly, it didn't look super comfortable, like the way that they
Yeah.
had it set up. Even though I know Eric from One High fell asleep during it last year. Um, but it just I don't know. It didn't look that appealing. This year it looked cool. Like with the black and the lights and everything. Plus outside of those benches up in front, everyone looked like they were in like stadium style seats.
Yeah.
Right? So it kind of matched an arena
Mhm.
theme. But I thought they did a really good job with the visuals of it. And then, oh my gosh, should we go ahead and start talking about what happened during Worlds? Well, let's start with the first day,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, the first day, yeah.
we got up, we were all in voice. I had some of the other casual guys in there with us
Mhm.
watching. Knob was in there every day. Ghost Knight was kind of in there sometimes.
The
I mean,
first day he dipped pretty early, and then, obviously, Knob, I gotta give a big shout out to Knob. Obviously not watching it yet. He's probably sleeping or
no, he
getting
told me he's gonna go watch chess because
oh, yeah.
he
I was
leads
like,
a
"What are you watching?" He's
horrifying
like,
life.
"Well, I have to work tomorrow." I was like, "I'm out." I was like, "Okay." But, shout out to Knob, like, it's funny hearing him drunk or whatever he's doing and, like, talking shit to everyone. Talk shit to me, I talk shit back, and, like, he's like, "Sleepy Clash fan." He even changed my, name in the C2J Discord and changed it back to Drunk Fan 9 or whatever. But, hey, don't hate on me because I fucked up on my alarm, but I love him talking shit. It's like, "Oh, Ghost Knight cried Friday," because, Carl called him a tryhard and okay, Ghost Knight, come on, Ghost Knight, you kinda are, bro. Like, you have VS, Vodka Soda, asking you how in Comp Wars to send his blimp, and guess who trained him on his blimp? This guy. I trained Ghost Knight. "Oh, you gotta send your blimp here. Sometimes you need a warden." The OP guy here, ClashFan9, I don't use a warden for my blimp mostly. In the last Comp War that Fatal didn't include him in, he's like, "Oh, if you do a warden blimp," I was like, "Y do you not watch comps when I attack? I fucking hate using my warden for my blimp." But anyway, he is a tryhard. But, shout out to Nob for, like, he's in Australia, so it's like the time difference is hard.
It was much easier for him to be
Yeah,
awake
exactly.
at the times. And I think
'Cause
that's
I
part of like Griffo rode with us most of the whole way too,
yeah.
until started making jokes that made him feel uncomfortable.
I told Nob that and he just laughed. But yeah, it's, for them, it's like 10 PM, I think, when the world starts. Or for me at least, it starts at 1 AM. I think for you, it starts at 3 because you're 2 hours behind me?
2 AM.
Oh, 2 AM.
2 AM. Even
I'm
though
religiously late
I just
late
knew that
to bed.
like, all right, like they'll start coverage at 2 AM. They'll do like a bunch of different stuff. They won't actually start the matches till 3.
Right?
Wrong. I was wrong on that. They rolled right into matches every day. In fact, that was something I feel like they did a lot different this year. Like there was not that much time in between the matches
Mhm.
this year.
Yeah.
Like they were pretty rapid succession. I like that because I don't think they need a whole lot of the other stuff going on, but I did enjoy that. But also, I mean, we had Fatal in there with us all 3 days.
Mhm.
I've not logged into Discord anytime in the last month that I haven't seen Fatal online. So he's constant and real treat for us. He actually came off mute quite a few times with us. It's,
Well,
I feel
what's
really
funny
special.
what's funny about him coming off mute, like, I know we're kinda spiraling off what we wanna talk about, but, there's a few times where before I had a job, I just 8 AM right when I wake up, I'm just in the Discord just chilling, like, he watching movies on YouTube, like the free movies they have, and he'll just come in and just talk to me, and he's like, "Ooh, I heard him talk," and then all of a sudden, Ghost Knight joined, and he started talking to Ghost Knight, so, I heard him first, and, yeah, Fatal's OP. Uh, Ghost Knight, come on, dude. You said you're gonna be in the Worlds the first day, you dipped out. Second day, we didn't see you. Third day, you were deafened. I mean, you can blame me for not waking up in time, that's okay, but at least I joined and talked. You were deafened, you didn't say shit. I'm calling Ghost Knight out because he said he'd be there. You set an alarm. He didn't talk because in
He
here.
had some hunting trip in the middle of Worlds. Like he just
So
negated to tell us that was happening. And all of a
so
sudden he's
yeah,
like, "Yeah, I'm in a deer
yeah,
blind, and I'm hunting animals out here." Like, dude, you said you were in for the World's watching party, and then
right?
just No, by the way, I'm going hunting in the middle of it too. Like, okay, well, we probably could have tailored our expectations if we'd known that ahead of time.
And, what's funny is, so, FTB C2J, we did a friendly war before with Sons of Guns. We beat them. We did another war tonight with them, friendly war, and Ghost Knight's like, "Oh, if, you replace me, Fatal, I'll set an alarm to be in Worlds, to watch Worlds with you." He didn't, and,
So wait, so he tapped out of joining
the
the
friendly war.
competition
Yeah.
so that he could be awake for Worlds,
Mhm.
and then he went to sleep during Worlds.
Yeah. Or, I don't know if he was asleep, but he
Bruh.
wasn't active, like,
Bruh, 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 bruh,
obviously, if I was
bruh.
up at 1 AM, I would've been active, but, he's deafened, and everyone's like, "Oh, he can see us." Like, "No, dude. He's deaf, and he has us muted, so he can't hear us."
Oh shit, man, you
Yeah.
got to get on that.
It's like, if you're not a tryhard, come on, dude. Fucking watch the world, man. Come on.
So it's been a challenging weekend for our buddy
Yeah.
Ghost Knight. He's uh he's been struggling a little bit. It was a great weekend for Knob because Knob just man, he enjoyed way too much the fact that my predictions were just
Oh, yeah,
completely
he
wrong.
did.
Like I probably
Yep.
couldn't have been even more wrong. And I mean that's fine. I've been wrong before. Knob really, 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 really enjoyed the fact that I was really off. And he enjoyed it so much that he really wants to come on one of our episodes and tell me how much I was wrong. And I'm not gonna let him. So,
Well,
he can quit asking.
what I found funny is, not this night, but last night, he's like, it's like 4 AM my time. He's like, "Let's just do a pod right now, like a short one to call everyone out." He's like, "I'm gonna be on the pod." I was like, "Bro, I can't set that up because I would like that live." Like, Knob, the way he was last night would have been sick on the pod because it would have been funny just him calling everyone out. And, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna do a pod." And he's like, "Bro, I have to go to work." He's like, "Oh, we'll just do one episode without CF9." I was like, "Just." Apparently he's gonna start his own podcast, just one episode. I was like, "What kind of shit is that, bro?" But, I love Knob. I love the way he shit talks. He's Me and him when we get tipsy, like, obviously, I'm a little tipsy now, but, it was fun. It was funny, like, Knob calling out shit, calling you out, like, you could suck a dick and shit. It was so good, but his
Oh,
team lost.
I don't think he ever told me to S a D. I think that was you. I think it was
Yeah,
all you.
but again, his team lost too, so
All right, so let's recap real
yeah,
quick.
let's get into it.
Like the first day, everyone we got 4 matches first round, so no one's getting eliminated. And then at the very end, we've got our first elimination match
Mhm.
between Strut and VN Esporting, and VN ends up being the first one out. That's no big deal to us because neither of us had them going very far
Yeah,
anyway. Really, the big upset of the first day, I thought, was the fact that the Chinese team, BLTX, actually won their
yeah,
first round match because and listen, you ended up being right. Knob ended up being more right than me, at least. None of us had the Chinese team
no.
advancing past the first elimination stage. Like no one, I mean, no one really knew much about them, right?
Mhm.
But no one thought that they were gonna mix it up. They ended up doing really well. So they tossed EA into the losers bracket, and then on day two, EA ended up being the second team eliminated. So both VN and
Yep.
EA went 0 for 2 and 2 and done right away. And oh, by the way, EA, who I had, I mean, I was rooting for them. I liked them. I thought they would do well. They did not. As Knob reminded me over and over and over. Like I woke up this morning and I was still talking about like, Big B, great prediction with EA, and I'm like,
Right?
there they were going yesterday. Like, I get it. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
so EA was out after that. And then not long after that, I think the next match that Strut had, I forgot who they played. It might have been the
It
um
was, I'm trying to remember now. Was, Strut versus
it
was it
might have been the Chinese team, the
or
BLTX.
yeah, yeah, it was.
because
because
BLTX knocked out Strut, sent them
yes,
packing, right? So they went
yeah,
out in sixth place, and then the team that I picked to win it, and you know, fairness to me, a lot of
uh-huh,
people picked to win it, not just me. I think Fatal had even told us that they were the favorites to win.
yes,
Tribe went out in fifth place. And while part of me was like, all right, my prediction is way off, I picked them finish first. They finished fifth. I was not sad to see Tribe go because I didn't want them to win. I thought they probably would. I didn't want them to. And after their first match that they lost, where their player Exorcist was up there celebrating a 3-star while they were
right,
still 2 stars down in the war, I was like, no, get them out of this competition as quickly as possible. So I'll take all the
mhm.
magic knob shit that he wants to give me for picking them. Like I was happy to see him out. Not that I wish
Yeah,
anything bad on him, but that they're overacting on stage. Like that's come on, give it a rest, guys. So
yeah,
they
that
went out in fifth place,
mhm,
and then we were down to the final four, which is where we picked up this morning.
yes,
And
eh,
the first elimination match this morning was between BLTX and Navi. And those Chinese players, they sent Navi packing. So
let's
the defending world
go.
champions out in fourth place this morning. And we've got to call that an upset because no
Oh,
one
yeah,
was picking the Chinese team to make it that far. But not only did they knock out the defending world champs. And I mean, Strut was also a previous, with a little bit of a different team, but a
mhm,
previous world champ as well. So I mean, they were just knocking people off the cliff left and right. And then they went up against RPG, who went through the winners bracket and then lost this morning in Clash Champs. And RPG ended up finally knocking out BLTX to send them home in third place. And then
mhm,
that set us up with a final between Clash Champs and RPG, which would have gone to a bracket reset if RPG had won the first one, but they did
yep,
not. And Clash Champs ended up going undefeated through all matches in the world's final. And I think they had one or two players that went perfect the entire time.
yeah,
So officially, Adams, your team prediction of Clash Champs was 100% right. And
mhm.
before I let you enjoy this moment, I think I've also got to point out that your initial prediction for MVP, P. Castro,
Yeah,
probably their best player,
yeah,
had a perfect Worlds Final, 100% hit rate.
let's
He
go,
came into the
baby.
competition as the second highest hit rate of any player at Town Hall 15, only behind my pick for MVP, Ramirez.
Yep.
But he obviously played a lot better this weekend than him. So he's likely the finals MVP, even though you couldn't pronounce his name. So not only were you right on which team was going to win, but your prediction with Castro winning also correct. You were
Yeah,
you were
buddy.
spot on both. So you're officially the champion of our Clashuals World Finals watching. So the stage is yours, and here's your acceptance speech. Go ahead.
Well, by the way, last night, me and Al were like, "Hey, so if our teams go against each other, it's gonna be friendly." It wasn't. Uh, I'm glad Clash Champs won. Like, was it like a while back when I said Clash Champs is gonna win it, and it was like, no, they won't win it. I'm glad they did. They were a strong team, and that Chinese team, wow, dude, like again, they blew me out of the water. Just getting third place, they defeated so many good teams. I'm proud of them, like coming in with like the new update. I think Supercell probably gave them like a little bit to train up, but I'm proud I got it right for once when I'm actually paying attention to the esports because every time I watch Clash Champs, they're OP just in regular tournaments. But I'm glad they won, even though they broke the trophy. That was funny.
You're jumping ahead, Adams. We get
I know.
that later on.
I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I'm glad I picked the right team.
Any final words of shit talk to everyone who predicted incorrectly, who just obviously doesn't understand the game as well as you do?
Uh, fuck the Navi, however the fuck you pronounce it, fanboys, and the tribe fanboys. Fuck y'all. You're like, oh, they're OP. First of all, Navi was crap during a lot of the tournaments. They barely won a lot of the tournaments. They barely won the golden ticket. Don't care what y'all say. Tribe, they haven't been relevant since the last time they won Worlds. So,
They've
Clash
never
Champs
won
hopefully.
Worlds, actually.
Well, good thing they're out. So, fuck all the fanboys saying Navi's the best team ever. Clearly, they're not. They got fourth place. They lost to a Chinese team who wasn't even training on the new updates. They had to do weird things on their thing. So good job, BLT sandwich. That's what I called them. So good job, BLTX, for taking the OP Navi out. Fuck you, fanboys. Calling you out right now.
If you
So
had
yeah.
to pick, which fanboy is more annoying to you, Navi, Tribe, or TWOB?
Ooh.
Who's got the most annoying fanboys?
I'm gonna say TWOB because apparently on YouTube, which if you watch the world things on YouTube, like who the fuck are you, knob? Watch it on Twitch because their fucking stream on YouTube is so delayed. But yeah, the TWOB fan base is like, "Oh, they're gonna win worlds next year." No, they're not. They're not.
Yeah, that was
They're
like
not good enough.
the chat in the YouTube stream was all the people going, "When does TWOB play?" Like,
Yep.
oh, they're not in it. Oh, well, they're gonna win it next year. Like, God, guys, like,
No, they won't. Like they're good in like just regular wars or tournaments, but when it comes to like golden ticket things, they get I don't think they're
see,
not good enough.
they're a product of when you have a content creator on your team, and that
Right.
content creator gets really big. Like, hypothetically, if Judo Sloth was a really, really good player and played
Mhm.
competitively, whatever team he played on would probably have the same following because people watch all of his videos.
Yeah.
Because Summit plays on TWOB at least occasionally, that's why he's got all the fanboys because that's all they see in their content creation videos. That's all the media that fan base is consuming.
Mhm.
So that's really that's all they know. Plus, I know that too. It's an all Indian team, so it's a national point of pride for them, and I get that. And that's the Indian Clash community is a very prideful one. They're very proud of how their teams do, even though they're kind of in the same boat as North America in that they don't typically make it to the finals, or at least not on stage. I think we said this before. I think they had a team last year, the year before, that qualified and then couldn't get to the event. I guess that was last year.
Yeah, it
So
was last year. Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
then he
so
passed
th-
away.
there's probably some sensitivity to that. I mean, and now that I think about it, that would have been a really good comeback for Fatal to throw at him when they say, "Oh, TWB is going to win it next year." Like, no, you're not, because none of your players can get to Helsinki.
Right.
Although I did see Summit was at the World's Finals. I saw him. I saw some
Oh.
pictures with him in it. So he managed to find a way to make it, even from India. But the rest of those players really struggled to get over there. Um, I, I'll say this: I really enjoyed watching it and doing it in the live format with you guys and being
Mhm.
able to kind of go back and forth. Other than like, I thought through like day one and day two, like, all right, if I just don't respond to Knob, like he'll get tired of it eventually. He never did.
No.
He certainly never did. I don't know if that was just because he was just bound and determined to get at me, or he was a little under the influence too. But
Yeah.
he didn't let up. So good for you, Knob, for sticking through it, even though your team didn't win either.
Yeah.
Um, but I think really, and I've got this written down in the notes, like big surprises from the event. I think if you asked me,
Mhm.
and if we go back through what our predictions were ahead of time, um, I wasn't surprised that Clash Champs did really well.
Yeah.
When they were going through the qualifiers and they didn't get that golden ticket through the first community ones, I remember saying, like, I hope they qualify through the in-game tournament because they've played better than anyone else that's still in that tournament that
Mhm.
doesn't have a golden ticket. So
Yeah.
they took the long way to get there to get qualified, and I get that. There's a lot of teams out there. It's almost tougher to qualify than it is once you get there. to
Yeah.
some extent. So I'm not surprised that they won at all. I mean, they've been really good all year. I'm a little surprised that they just ran roughshod through everyone. Like, I don't think anyone even came close to them. I mean, they had a perfect war against
Yep.
BLTX. They were 1 star off a perfect war in their opening match against Tribe.
Hmm.
And then they had some tougher ones against RPG offensively, but in both of those defensively, they were they were ahead going into the last attack. Like
Yep.
they already knew that they were going to win. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, there really wasn't anyone that threatened them in any match because they were either just so over the top on offense or just smothering on defense. Um,
Hmm.
so that was, I guess, I'm a little surprised that no one even challenged them much more than
Right.
that. But I get it. There's limited opportunities in an 8 team tournament. Um, but I other than that, the Chinese team being really really good. I knew when we were going through the predictions last couple times when I was asking you and Ghost
Hmm.
Knight for your MVPs and I was going through who I thought was on BLTX's team, and then they started walking out there, and I realized those aren't any of the guys that I thought was on that team. And then Wei was on it. Wei, who was
Yeah.
on the championship team back in the very first one, Town Hall 12 one. I remember thinking, oh God, like these guys they could be a lot better than we think, and
Hmm.
they were. They were a lot
Oh
better.
yeah.
And they won
I'm.
that first war. I'm trying to remember who the first war was against EA, and
Yep.
EA ran almost the exact same style of base against them in five on all 5 of their hits. And BLTX used almost the exact same counter offensive plan on all 5,
Yeah.
and they won doing that, which
Yeah.
I was shocked that they did that, but they did. So I was surprised that they made it that far. I think a lot of people were because we just didn't know what to expect, but they were really
Mhm.
good. And, I think it just goes to show that year that JX Tigers won the world champion, it really showed that like Chinese players, they might not have the name recognition that everyone else does.
Right.
But just like, and people are so soon to forget because it's been 2 years now, when Chinese players were part of the global community, when we
Mhm.
all played on the same server, when you spun a Chinese clan in war, your butthole was puckering up like, oh God, these guys are gonna, oh God, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be
Right.
good. And there were so many just random Chinese clans out there that were really, really good back then. And Chinese players are still really, really good. And even not playing the exact same style game everyone else is, guess what? The best players in China are still really, really good as anyone else we got in the rest of the world.
I mean, they knocked out now Navi get 3rd place. That's OP for a team not used to update, and that's awesome for them to come through. They lost, and they're in the lower bracket. They just fucking made the challenge to come through, and they dominated, got 3rd place. That blew my mind. I thought they were gonna be out. Maybe not their first match, but when they went to the lower bracket, I thought they're gonna be out instantly. But let's go to
But
BLTX.
besides the Chinese team being good, anything else that surprised you? To the person who got everything else right, did anything else surprise you about the world championship?
The only thing I got right is selecting the winner. I thought Navi was gonna go a little further, because they are OP, but they're not the best. Obviously, if you watch the worlds, they're not the best because they're not anymore. Uh, I would,
Listen, I'll say this for that team though: second place, first place, and then fourth place in consecutive years. I mean, with as many teams that are out there, that's pretty consistent. It's pretty good.
but with all the fanboys like, oh, they're gonna win, they're gonna win. It's like, nah,
Yeah,
they
that was
like,
that was always my deal with them is I don't dislike any of the players. In fact, I like a lot of the players. I don't
yeah,
like their fans. You know,
yeah, exactly. It's
a lot of
the fans.
bandwagon fans because of how good they
Mhm.
did the last couple years.
I think it's through the tournaments, like especially like this year. You look at them like they didn't do that well in a lot of tournaments they were in. So I didn't expect anything. It was like, "Nah, they're not gonna win it." And it was like, "Oh," all their fans were, "Oh, they're gonna win it, they're gonna win." It's like, no.
Well,
The way
if
they
you remember, we talked about potentially them sandbagging or not trying as
Mhm.
hard in some of the competitions leading up because they had a lot of pressure on them from their sponsor because it's very well known that Navi as an esports organization, like they don't tolerate failure
Yeah.
and teams that don't win, that don't show what they can do, that don't consistently win stuff like world championships, they don't stay signed with them. I'm
Mhm.
wondering if finishing fourth place in the world's finals is enough for them to keep that sponsorship. I hope it is because
Yeah.
they are a really good team and they deserve it. And I really hope that more teams get opportunities like that. Like I'm excited that Clash Champs won. And I think that Clash Champs as an organization is a really, really good organization. There's not always a lot of people that have bad stuff to say about them, except for potentially Kenny Joe. But that was really the only bad thing that Clash Champs did all weekend was, not help Kenny Joe up when he fell on the ice. Um, but I would also really like those players, those really good players, just won worlds. I'd really like them to get a high paying, lucrative like sponsorship deal
Right.
somewhere. And if they can keep Clash Champs as part of that, great. Or if Clash Champs can find a way to sweeten that deal for them that makes enough money to do it, then great.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I'm hoping that the Navi stays with their team or at least stays involved in Clash.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. I think what messed them up is, like, trying to find that 5th player for a while through, like, tournaments. They finally got Sinte, which he did good. He did great, but,
The deal was
it
it wasn't just them needing to find a fifth player. The
like,
guy that they lost off last year's team, Yuta, he
yeah.
wasn't, he was their captain. He did all the talking for him too. He also was pretty consistently their fifth hitter, right?
Mhm.
So when it came down to the final hit, they needed something. He was the one who, he got the plan ready, not necessarily always to triple, but to get them whatever they needed to win the match.
Mhm.
Um, and say what you want. There's a lot of pressure that comes in hitting fifth. There's a
Yeah.
lot to handle there. There's a lot you got to understand that you got to know about it. And even though Klaus didn't do bad in his position, um, there's just something else about the psychology of playing when you don't have that consistent person at the end or
Mhm.
that same person up talking into the microphone. So I think that could have thrown him off a little bit. Um, but I mean, since they did okay, he
Yeah.
he had some triples during the World Finals, so it wasn't like he came in and threw, the finals.
Mhm.
I will say another thing that I was, I guess, a little surprised. Maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. I only remember seeing one star attack anywhere in this weekend. Am I misremembering that? Like I think I only remember seeing one. I think it was Mask from Strut who had a one star.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember because it's way back, but yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So I would have thought there might be a few more than that. But again, we were talking about the best players, so I guess they know how
Yeah.
to avoid that from happening. But yeah, just
I mean,
one
even
star the whole weekend. But
yeah,
that's I think that's good, right? Like that means the
amazing.
competition was really good. That means that
Yeah.
everyone there knows what they're doing. And I don't think it was because the meta wasn't really tough. It was, right? That's what we've seen in Town Hall 15, but only won one star this weekend.
Yeah.
Um,
And OP to the base builders, to all the clans.
yeah, and especially for Clash Champs now that we're on the other side of it, like Clash Champs
Uh-huh.
base building, like they smothered RPG in those last two matches,
Yeah.
um, and you know, they held BLTX off just enough. I mean, they ended up needing it all because they went 15 stars against BLTX. But good defense, and
Mhm.
you know, I think they were. We knew they had strong defense. I don't know that we thought that they were going to be. It was really RPG. We thought was going to have the defensive smother on everyone,
Yeah.
but Clash Champs was just so good offensively. Like they found a way.
Yep. The like, no, Repotted or not Repotted, RPG had, great base builders, but Clash Champs found a way to come through and hit them hard, and, like, I was hoping for, like, 2 matches against RPG and Clash Champs, but Bentley did that. I wish it did because it would have been more content for the Worlds, but it was awesome nonetheless.
The
I
only
learned how to
thing,
play
like, I
well.
feel like the only thing that was missing, while I felt like the competition was good, it was competitive. The only thing that I felt like was missing was there wasn't, not that I remember. I might be I'm just not remembering it. I don't remember the match that came down to the final hit where the person hitting like pulled off something miraculous to pull it off for his team. Feels like
Yeah, this
every year there's been a big match somewhere we're like, all right, it's the last hit, and if they don't triple, this is it. And then that last person pulls out a triple and then moves on. I don't remember that happening over the last 3 days. Do you
no,
remember any happening in the final hit like that?
no, it was basically, I no, there was nothing upset about it. There was nothing like, "Oh, if you get a triple, you'll win." Nothing like that.
Anyway, so Fatal reminded me. So I think Klaus on day one, I think he had to have a triple in the final hit for them to advance, and he did it. Um, and then he's saying Teamper did too. I don't remember that one, but I'm sure he's right on that. But yeah, I don't think either of those were in today's hits. So
No, not today. I was expecting, like I said, at the final match between RPG and Clash Champs to go another round because RPG has just a great base builder. I was like, "Oh, let's see another match." Nope, didn't happen. Sorry for those who didn't listen, but or watch,
all right.
whatever.
So should we talk about the biggest surprise?
Was you get it?
The biggest surprise of the World Championships is not actually what happened in the competition. It's not even what our big second topic is going to be with the announcement and leaks of, Town Hall 16 stuff. The biggest surprise during the World Championships was the presence of Mrs. Voldemort herself, none other than Lady B, in the audience live for Clash Fest. Adams, what do you think about her being there?
Why? Like, I don't see the point. Like, it's like I get it. I guess she still loves Clash. She still wants to be a part of it, but like I think she's just going there to stir shit up and cause drama. Like we
No.
saw the Twitter video of her and calling out
So
people.
so 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 describe the Twitter video for the listeners real quick. What's this video you're referencing?
Okay, so basically, can I call names out? Fuck it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean I mean they're gonna find it.
so basically, the Lady B on Twitter, if you have that stupid app, it talks as fuck anyway. So she took a video recording Payview and Erica, and Payview's or she's like, "Oh, why do you hate me?" Blah blah blah, and Payview's like, "Oh, because you're delusional and toxic and all that." And like it's just basically a dumb video of her like just calling people out for liking Twitter posts against what she thinks is right. And
I don't even think it was for that. I think it was for liking her Twitter posts.
oh yeah, well then why is she making a video? Uh, OP Erica for just saying, "Hey, let's just walk away." Like she said, "We're just trying to watch the worlds. Why are you recording us?" And then Payview kept talking. Like obviously, as a man, you're gonna keep talking if someone calls you out. But like OP Erica being the
That's not a man thing, Adams. Come on now. I mean, I would have had something very witty to come back with,
yeah,
right?
we,
Like I
we
would have
both
I would have made her video look bad on her, but it's, different experiences. I'm used to confrontation. Not everyone is, right? Not everyone's, so comfortable with confronting stuff. But
That's what I was saying, like, when I saw the video, I was like, "Oh, I wish I was there." I would've fucking stepped in and just blew her up. I was like, "Why are you even here? You're not even relative to Clash anymore. You're not even a caster. You don't even play the game. You don't even live stream the game. Why are you even here? You're just here to cause drama between people who don't give a fuck about you anymore."
so let's backtrack a tad before before that video found its way onto the interwebs. So earlier in the week,
Mhm.
when Rick was traveling, right, and we had asked him last week, like, "Hey, what are you gonna do if you get there for Worlds and she's there?" And he was like, "Oh, she won't be there." And I'm like,
Right.
"So there's talk about her actually being there. Will you go up and talk to her, right? Like, will you, ask her if she wants to be on the podcast, stuff like that?" And he's just like, Rick did not believe she was going to show up, right? And rightfully so. I don't think most people thought that she had the cojones to just show up. And then because I still follow her on Instagram because she does like ballroom dancing and other stuff. And quite frankly, when she was really going down the tailspin last year, I was
Uh-huh.
really just watching, like, honestly, I'm like, I hope she didn't hurt herself, you know. Um, but I was following and I noticed where she was in Europe. And she
Uh-huh.
doesn't live in Europe, right? She's in America.
Yeah.
And she was in like Denmark somewhere, which is not, I mean, none of Europe is that far away from each other. But she had videos posted in Europe, and I was like, that's convenient for her to be in Europe right as the finals are about to start. So I was sending that to Rick and going, "Hey man, um, she's close." And he's like, "Oh, she won't be there." And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Okay." And then on day one, before it actually started, she posted a video, and it was just someone. It didn't have her in it, but it was a panoramic video of the Clash set, like you're sitting in the stands, and it
Uh-huh.
was early, like there weren't many people in it, but it had that Eminem song, that "Guess Who's Back, Back Again," and so it was like I got a good chuckle out of seeing that. But then when she posted it, I was like, "Oh shit, man, she's there." So I was
Right.
telling Rick, like, "Hey man, you gotta go say hi to her," and he was like, "I'm not gonna go say hi to her." But
I I
so she was clearly there,
yeah.
and she clearly had every intention of going there to stir the pot whatsoever. I saw the video. Quite frankly, I mean, even with what Payview was saying, like I think I don't think he said anything wrong. Like, her going in there and taking a video, like that just shows like you're not here because you're a fan of Clash. You're here because, as we've said before, you still feel like your exit from the game, from content creation, from casting and
Yep.
everything was wrong. You still feel slighted by the company and everyone in the community. I guess not everyone in the community, but most people in the community. And you're there to
Mhm.
get a pound of flesh. And not that Payview has probably ever said anything overtly toxic towards Lady B, but because he has at some point in time either played on a team or been in the same Discord server as someone who has, all of a sudden he became the source of her anger, and she became the target for the next video. And poor Erica, who really doesn't have anything to do with that, if anything, tries to police her community to not do stuff like that. She's just there in the video, like, "Why are you recording us?" Happy that they didn't say anything that they would live to regret later. Like they handled it pretty well. Even the stuff that Pavey was saying, like you're delusional.
Yeah.
Yeah, our buddy Wizard of Woo has said plenty of times that all this stuff that Lady B does, it's essentially, in his words, L posting, right? Like people don't like you. People go out in public and say they don't like you, and then you complain about people saying they don't like you, and you go on and on about it, making more people not like you, and you just prove them all right.
Mhm.
And that video that she posted to Twitter is just, it's more examples of the same, that she thinks that posting that video is, oh, you see how toxic Peivu and Erica are. And all that video shows is, no, Lady B's the one with the problem.
Right.
She's the one going Clash Fest and videoing people, trying to get a reaction out of people. And that that's who's holding the L right now. It's Lady B. It's not Supercell. It's not anyone who said they don't like her. It's not any of that.
Right.
It's the one who still continues on with it. And we've talked about her plenty on this podcast.
Lot.
We've also talked about hoping that she would move on, that she would, it's just find something else. And while she's been away from the game for a couple of months now, and I mean, we had the post with her leaking all of Eric's private conversations a couple months ago. But for the most part, she's been out of the spotlight. Her just, it, she paid for a trip to Finland just to go do this.
To cause mayhem. Yeah.
She's not healthy.
No.
She's, and I quite frankly, like, I don't care. Anyone gives Peivu shit for calling her delusional. I think if we were to talk to like a clinical psychologist, about her actions and reactions,
Mhm.
that might be a good clinical term for how she
Oh, yeah.
thinks. In
Hands down.
delusions, not in reality. Foreseeing slights as people who like her comments on Twitter, like, oh, that's a slight against me, that is delusional. That might be the definition of delusion.
Right.
So don't get me wrong. I would love to have her come on the podcast so we could talk about some of her issues and why she
Right.
does the things she does. Like, I mean, I think it'd be great content too. But I mean, she's not over it. She's not going to be over it.
No.
And the only way for any of this to like stop, she's gonna have to get over it, or Supercell's gonna have to find some really good lawyers to just make sure and keep her away. Like, who is running security at Clash Fest that couldn't be like, uh, you're not allowed in here?
Yeah, it still surprised me, like, she went last year, and, like, she's been at a casting and at the Clash things for, like, 3 years now, but she keeps going to Worlds. I was like, "Homie, settle down. It's over. Quit trying to stir shit up. Move on." Like, you have such a vendetta against Supercell and streamers or people that play. You're gonna fucking go to Worlds, make a video, and just post it on Twitter. Whoever thinks Lady B's in the right, you're fucking delusional too.
And listen, I've said this before because I have somewhat defended her in saying that like there's been some different times of people, just posting that they don't like her for whatever reason and her getting mad about stupid stuff. And then there's been times where people have specifically tried to go out of their way to keep her from doing stuff just because she was a woman or because they didn't like her something else. And like there's been times where there's been legitimate stuff done to her,
Yeah,
but all that stuff is old now. All that stuff is irrelevant because she's not involved in Clash anymore. And her continuing to insert herself, it's toxic. It's
yeah.
extremely toxic. And quite frankly, like this is listen, I was in the Erica's community clan for a long time,
Mhm.
and I never played with Payview, but around him for a while. And like those are two that who have never been to the World Finals before, so this was kind of
Yeah.
a special event for them. And her and her quest to try to find the next person to blame for her fall from stardom, to just target them, like that was shitty. That was a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, she's losing all of the defense that I've ever had for her by continuing to act this way.
Mhm.
She needs to give it up. Like it's not worth it anymore. Like you're not getting any more support than you already have, right? You've
Yeah.
got people out there who were fans of you, who backed what you did, who defended you in public. There are people who have defended part of what you've done, like I have before, and you keep continuing on just nitpicking and going after the smallest stuff that's not relevant to you anymore. It is it's almost the over indexed version of L posting. If there's a term for moving the needle the opposite direction, that's what she's effectively done now.
Right.
And I think it's sad that she would continue to do that until eventually there's no one left around that would have a good word to say about her. But that's the
Mhm.
direction she's heading. It's time to
Yeah.
just focus on what else you've got, right? Like she's got another job, another career. She's got other stuff that she can do. Find something else, or go find another game, right? If you want to
Yeah.
continue casting, streaming, if that's what you want to do, go find another competitive game that you can get involved with. That's not Clash of Clans. Like she can
Exactly.
she can do that, right? She can start over somewhere else, but this isn't the place to do it. And now it's been over a year since she's been allowed to cast. It's been almost a year and a half since all of the stuff went down with her, with Strut and the old team, and even well before last year's finals. It's so old now. Time
Yeah.
to give it up.
I feel like she kinda ruined the trip for, Erica and Payview for being
I
there
hope
for
I
the
hope
first
she
time.
didn't. Like I
I
hope
hope she didn't, but I kinda feel like, they're gonna be thinking about it, like, "Oh, fuck that Lady B," 'cause,
I'm sure in private they should be MFing her up and down, right?
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, in private they should not be giving her a second thought because
True.
she's irrelevant to him.
R
But
Yep.
more shame on Supercell for allowing her in the building. Like
Again.
Like, what policy out there are they holding on to? It's like, oh no, she bought a ticket, so we have to allow her admittance. Like, no, you can have a list of people who are blacklisted, and she can be on it because
Yeah.
it's much different. Like, people might pull up like, well, um, Time to Clash, Blame Adam went last year, and there's a difference between like Supercell's not letting him back in the creator program, but he's not like the most hated villain in the community, right?
Yeah.
And he's also not trying to like sue Supercell or say that Supercell has has overlooked all this toxicity. Like, if anything, he's saying, Supercell, I want to be back with you. I want to be exclusive again,
Hmm.
right? He wants to get back in that relationship.
Yeah.
So that's completely different than him going last year, right? In fact, I wished he had been there again this year. Quite frankly, if Lady B would want to take video, that would have been a spicier video for her to go up to Adam and
Right.
try to get a video. And I'm sure he would have been nice and respectful in the moment, but I mean, because she is so anti Supercell now, it's a
Mhm.
bad business decision for them to even let her in the building.
Yeah. Like it blows my mind that she's even allowed to like even film or be a part of the world. It's like, I get it, you wanna go to Denmark, whatever, Finland, you can go, but, like, to be allowed in the building and actually watch blows my
If
mind.
she's like, if she wants to stand outside and picket in Finland where it's -3 degrees right now, then they should let her do that.
Yeah.
Okay, she can do that, but get in the building, watch it, and then try to ruin the time for other people who are just there to enjoy it. No, they shouldn't allow
Mhm.
that. She should not be allowed in the building.
Yeah. Alright. Hi, Sam. Go lay down.
So, Lady B was the biggest surprise of World Championships.
Buddy.
Anything else around Worlds last couple days? Been exciting stuff.
Uh, just, the OP Clash champs winning it is the only thing I gotta mention.
So,
With a
one of the other things that came out,
new update.
there was a video that was
Yeah, buddy.
posted. Oh, Fatal
Yeah.
I almost forgot. Fatal reminded us.
Kinda mentioned it. But,
Clash champs in their excitement for winning world championships go up, grab a hold of that big trophy, and what do they immediately do?
they
Break
broke
the bottom of it off.
It's like
Congratulations,
a
Clash champs.
3D printed trophy, it looked like, and they picked it up, and they tried to, like, play it off, like, someone was trying to hold it on and like, "Oh, fuck it," and they just dropped it,
It's
and then
it's clearly gone.
yeah,
It's clearly gone, guys. It's
they just dropped I love how, like, one of them's, like, trying to hold it like, "Oh, fuck it," and they just put it back on the stand, they're, like, holding up the broken trophy, and then we got the big ass check, they're trying to, like, hide behind it, like, "Let's block it because we fucking broke it."
so I'm a little bit conflicted because on one hand I'm like, come on, get a better built trophy, right? Like get
Right?
one that's actually like solid, right? And on the other hand, and I can defend this decision, they're thinking in their mind, we need the lightest weight trophy possible because the guys that are going to lift this play mobile games for a living. So it ain't like I mean, not all of them look like, who is it, Heroya from EA, whose picture was him flexing,
Right?
right, with the muscles. Most of those guys have string bean arms. So if you have a real heavy trophy up there, they might not be able to lift it.
You imagine?
So I get it. Let's get a
Yeah.
light one to make sure that we don't mess up that moment. But there's got to be some lightweight material that doesn't break so easy, guys. Come on, what are you doing? What
They
happened to the
coulda
base of this?
they coulda made it out of, like, aluminum or something, like, a lightweight metal that's actually gonna stick together, not weird plastic material.
I honestly think they should have had multiple trophies ready, right?
Mhm.
And depending on who won, like, yeah, all right, we'll switch this out based on who wins. So, like, if EA had won, or if like BLTX had won, because BLTX had some big dudes too. Like they had who was that guy, Monta or Mantra or whatever? Like he was
Yeah.
a big
A big
dude.
motherfucker,
Like
yeah.
if one of those teams wins, like yeah, get that big thick trophy up there
Right?
because those big guys are gonna lift it. Like they're gonna start doing curls with it out there, right? But then, have your backup in case Tribe wins because, those guys are not pumping iron. They're all in the wrists, right? That's what they got. They're not a lot of bicep, good
Right.
strong forearms probably, but not
Oh, yeah.
no bicep work for those guys. So they can just we can go slide in the lightweight one if we need to, or we can put the heavy one out if the big dogs win. Right? I think they should have 2 trophies. So,
Yeah,
but
100.
yeah, a cheap made championship trophy. Like, come on, Supercell. Like, what are you doing?
And you can
Like,
tell,
oh man,
like, it's plastic because the way that end broke off, like, you can "Oh, yeah, that's plastic." Like, come on, dude. You done, like, a carbon fiber and just painted it so it's a little stronger, but that
you
was
can
funny.
see the white like plastic
Yeah,
ring at the
yeah,
bottom where it broke off. Like, oh
yeah.
man, come on.
I just love how they try to play it off like they didn't break it, and they're like, "Oh, fuck it." And then they just covered up with the check. It was great.
I mean, the best
Uh,
part is like those guys. Like after you win, like I don't care. Like oh, we broke the trophy. So what? We won. And listen, not I think first prize takes home total of $300,000
mhm,
from their win. RPG's not too upset. I think they take home 200,000,
still
and
pretty decent.
then or maybe it's 150 something like that. And then BLTX taking home 6 figures as well from winnings from this tournament. So I mean, not a bad trip for any of those guys. Like, hey, we're gonna free trip to Finland. You
Right?
compete. And then you'll finish in third place, but you're still gonna take home $20,000. Like, okay, it's not a bad weekend. I'd take
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Be all right. But also,
Oh, yeah.
so we had the teasers leading up to Worlds
Mhm.
that something was coming, right?
It's coming.
There's a video, right, and like a super mysterious video of Town Hall 15 that had an upgrade button, and then everything in it was like Town Hall 16, Town Hall 16,
Yeah.
and then they made it official during the broadcast. I think on day one that Town Hall 16 is coming this December.
Yeah.
Before we talk any more about that, um, I think we got to first acknowledge like this is not the 18-month time
Yep.
frame that they had originally talked about. So
Yep.
normally you would have an update, you would have probably I don't know 6 updates in between, essentially a year and a half for Town Hall, and then the next one.
Mhm.
Town Hall 15 launched in October of last year because Worlds were in September. 15 came the next month. And then we had an update for it in December. So we've had it now for about 14 months.
Mhm.
So launching Town Hall 16 in December is officially cutting off 4 months out of the normal update cycle.
Yeah.
And is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I was talking with, like, everyone else. I think they might be messing up the schedule because they're coming out with it so early. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, it's coming out April." Like, we didn't believe, like, the leaks and shit. Like, there's no way they're coming out with December, and, like, with the new, video everyone shared, the Twitter video was like, "It's coming, it's coming." It's like, and then it said 10/16 December of this year. It's like, wow, they're actually, cutting it a little short. So I'm curious about what the new update schedule is gonna be like because 'cause they're cutting Town Hall 15 short 4 months.
Do you think this is going to be a change to just their update cadence in general? That you're going to start seeing shorter Town Hall lifespans?
If they don't add much to the Town Hall, yes. Like, obviously, we already know, if you watched the Judo Sloth video, Darian already said, like, everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna bring a new hero in Town Hall 16." They say they usually bring a new hero, every 3 town halls or whatever.
Well,
I didn't
they've
watch
already
the video.
they've already broken that trend because they did at Town Hall 7 you got the King, at
Uh-huh.
9 you got the Queen, at 11 you got the Warden, and at 13 you got the RC. So if it was every other one, then 15 would have been the next one, and we didn't get one. And it doesn't sound like we're getting one for Town Hall 16
No.
either.
So maybe 17 will get a new hero.
I can't see him adding another hero. Like I know there's a
Yeah.
lot of concepts out there. Maybe they'll come around to it, but it doesn't sound like we're getting another hero.
No.
Doesn't sound like that's something that they're thinking about, honestly.
They could Darian also could be pulling the whole, can't say much. Maybe there is gonna be a new hero. You
Oh,
can't say.
you think he'd be sending us astray? Think he would be lying to us on purpose?
Well, I mean, you can't say much. So, like, if obviously if someone's like, "There's gonna be a new hero," I was like, "Oh, there's no new hero," and then all of a sudden there's a new hero. Everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" So, I
Like I feel like Darian never like he never lies in those videos, but if he doesn't want to say something, he will avoid it in some way
Mhm.
without saying no. Like in the judo video, he basically said no hero at Town Hall 16. So I feel like there's probably not going to be one because I don't think he would just flat out lie about it. Like I think he would turn the question or something
Yeah.
if he didn't want to answer it straight out.
I don't know. I was hoping for like another Elixir hero at 16 just because I'm sick of the 3 dark, but 17?
Yeah,
Maybe a
man,
new hero?
the dark elixir economy's got to be tough. So
Oh,
I've got the Town Hall 15 that I just took from 14, like not even like a month ago,
uh-huh.
and I'm almost like I've got the Queen done, I've got the Warden done, and I'm working on the RC. I got a couple more levels going the King, but I'm feeling really good to get the heroes done, and I've almost done nothing on the pets, and that's all Dark Elixir. And I'll be honest, I was hoping to have an update in April so that I could have that Town Hall 15 finished by
Uh-huh.
then, and now it's coming in December. So for the
Yeah.
sake of that one, I'm like, shit, like, should I have even updated or should I have just kept it at 14 for a while? Like, it'll end up being fine, but I don't like having that many accounts that I'm grinding on at the same time. But
Yeah, that
because
makes
I
sense.
took that one thinking that the update was going to be in April, since I took that to 15, and now I'm going to be wrong, my three biggest, heaviest accounts in the game, I'm going to be grinding on all of them at the same time
Mhm.
during the Christmas holiday when I do not necessarily have a lot of free time to just sit and grind Clash.
Right. Well, I told you I rushed, my 14 to 15. So, when 16 comes out, like, it's as soon as the town hall's available to upgrade, I'm upgrading the town hall.
Went
If
straight from
six
15 to 16, huh?
if like, I have my lab upgrading, but as soon as it drops, everything's done. Fuck the heroes, fuck everything. I'm gonna go back straight to 16. Gonna fix that rush like I did with my 15 I have now. And, I love fixing a rush base, like I said multiple times. I fucking love it. By the way, fuck
Well, and
Gaul.
your 14 wasn't super rushed, so
No, like, everything was pretty much like, defenses wasn't really there, but I said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna send it." So, like, I'll be heavy on the offensive side, but defensive side, I'll be a little lacking, but again, I'll have, so long to fucking fix it, it's not gonna matter.
yeah, that's the way to go. Just offense. Screw the defense.
Yeah,
Defense you can catch up with later. Like,
true. But yeah, Town Hall 16 coming, what they're saying the 11th of December?
well, so here's yeah, I guess that's our
That's what everyone's saying, yeah.
expectations. Our expectations. And I guess we should say this too, because he's already patting himself on the back. He's right. Fatal did tell us a while ago, like, hey, I'm here in December, could be the next update. And considering that all of those content creators just found out about it when they got to Helsinki, I don't know how he always knows stuff like that. But
Yeah, he
Fatal
knows
knew.
some weird
He
people
told
there.
us a while ago, and we all were like, "Yeah, right, Fatal. Like it's gonna be April. You don't know what you're talking about. You can check your sources." He accurately predicted it.
Mhm.
So our expectations. So they released the video during today's broadcast for Hammer Jam, which looked pretty cool. It was like a hip hop style Hammer Jam. It was
Yeah.
not the traditional one like they've done in other Hammer Jams. I'm wondering if that's any indication on what the theme for Town Hall 15 is going to be like. Or I'm sorry, 16. Town Hall 15 was magic, right?
Yeah.
Town Hall 14 was like a jungle theme. I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of like I don't know hip hop urban for Town Hall 15. I don't know, but that's what the Hammer Jam
Right.
video is. Um, and then after the video that they showed during the broadcast, they announced on Twitter that Hammer Jam is actually starting tomorrow, which is November 27th, for those who are not listening to this right away. November
Yeah.
27th is when Hammer Jam is starting. So my anticipation would be they're going to get us through this week with Hammer Jam. There's probably going to be a bunch of specials. There's probably going to be a lot of speculation. They're going to tease us like crazy. Like they're just going to
Yep.
have the feather out there tickling our feet. And then next weekend, probably around December 2nd, 3rd, 4th, we'll start to get some sneak peek videos.
Mhm.
Um, and then They'll probably do that if there's a big update like this with a new town hall. We'll probably have, I don't know, 6 straight days, 7 days maybe, of sneak peek videos. There's probably going to be one with just what the new town hall theme is going to be.
Yep.
There will be one that shows defenses. There will be one that shows troops. There will be one that probably shows pets. There will probably be one that has quality of life, something or other. I hope they touch quality of life in some way, shape, or form in this update.
For once.
Yeah. I mean, they've been talking about it long enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it last week with Rick too. Like,
Mhm.
you can't talk about it all this time and then just not give it to us. And if Town Hall 16 is a distraction to distract us from them not touching quality of life, then shame on them.
Right.
But yeah, I would think that second Monday in December, probably around like the 11th, like that's usually they like kicking off updates on Mondays.
Mhm.
I would expect it sometime then. If that's the case, we're gonna launch it on a Monday morning. I
Have an
might
update.
very well, because I got so many magic items saved up. I might try to have a live stream the day of
Ooh,
the
yeah.
update, so that I can just live stream me updating or upgrading shit on the main accounts.
Let's go.
And yeah, it was just start playing with all the new toys whenever that happens.
I'm
I
excited for the color scheme, by the way. The red, like the
yeah, is it so it's like red and yellow,
yeah,
is it? Or
it's
red
like
and gold maybe?
red and gold, but I like the color scheme a little more than just what they've been going with. So,
Yeah, it's kind of like Town Hall 10's kind of got like a red and black,
yeah.
and then like a little bit of orange too, like the walls are orange and everything.
Mhm.
But like a red and gold one, I think would be really like almost like a Roman
Yeah.
style. I think like that. Yeah, I think
Old-time
that'd be
Rome, let's
cool.
go.
So like that's kind of our expected time frame. Like
Mhm.
I'm sure it'll be tight-lipped, and I'm sure there might be some changes. In fact, if anything, one thing that I know I've heard Darian talk about in previous times when we talk about like the actual update launch day is that they have like their plan, but also getting that information cycled over to the different platforms to update the app. Sometimes that's a little unpredictable.
Yeah.
So they might very well have a schedule that says, "Oh yeah, we want to launch it on the 12th of December." And then they might get to it and Apple might be like, "Oh, hey, we're backed up. We can't get all that updated right now." And that might get it pushed a couple days. So that could happen too, but
Yeah.
I would think
The point
sometime right after CWL in December is when we would. It's at least where I'm expecting it, and I'm gonna try to plan accordingly. Like everything I want to do with the 15, like I'm gonna try to get that in ahead
lit.
of time. I'm gonna leave that 15 at 15, so that when the update comes, I can take the two big ones to 16. Then I'll have one at 15, 14, 13, and then I still have the
Cool.
12s, 11s down there. I need to
Oh,
take
yeah.
one of those up. I need to help spread it out. So I need to take one of the 11s to 12. I need to take one of the 12s to 13. I
Hell
need
yeah.
to I need to do that. But I don't want to do
Be
it all at
sick.
the same time.
No,
Although Hammer Jam would be the perfect time to do that, right?
true.
I probably need
That
to
would
do
be
that.
because you get half price on everything, bro.
I think I might have just
Shit.
talked myself into doing that. Upgrade the other use Hammer Jam for my other town halls, not just for the main ones.
True. I'm
That
only
makes
been
sense.
concentrating on my Rush 15 and my other 15 because I got walls to do. So when Hammer Jam comes in, walls are gonna be cheaper. So I get my
Yeah.
walls done hopefully before Town Hall 16, and then I just
Dude, that's gonna
light
be big because the Town Hall 15 walls are so expensive.
I do have on
Do you
my
have the gold
15.
pass on the one you
I
just
have
took
them
up?
on both. Yeah, on both. And then I
So
do have
you'll get what 20% building reduction and then half off of that, right?
mhm,
Yeah. So you're paying like 40% of the normal currency for new walls.
yeah.
That's gonna be
And
sick. You can
I
actually grind through some.
yeah, and also have like 1,100 CWO medals, which I'll get more before, so I can use those for like books of hero or a hammer of heroes and just get the heroes max as fast as possible.
You know, I said last week that I was thankful for 17 runes of Dark Elixir.
Yeah.
I now have 19 runes of Dark Elixir on that account.
You bought a holiday Black Friday shit, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I did some Black Friday
Yeah.
shopping in the game.
What's funny is I feel bad for a little bad for Ghost Knight because he just came to 15 like a few months ago. He's doing good.
And I
Now
feel bad for him too. Like
yeah.
he got dumpstered during the World Finals or going hunting and falling asleep and stuff. And now right as he
Yeah.
gets Town Hall 15, they're gonna move the benchmark back.
So when it comes to comp wars, obviously they take a few time like 3 to 4 weeks off to do let people upgrade to 16. But I don't think he's gonna be in a comp wars for a while. By the way, Fatal says screw Ghost Knight.
So like I said, he's just man, he's having a rough go. Everyone's down on Ghost Knight.
And apparently he tried.
Everyone's so mad at Ghost Knight. Like I hate that like if people will call someone else a try hard, right? Just because, he wants to win.
Yeah,
Okay? Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like, sweaty try hard. Like whatever. Like not everyone can just feign not giving a shit, right? And talk about like calling the pot calling the kettle black. Like some guys accusing Ghost Knight of being tryhard, like, are also some of the guys that have the spend the most time trying to plan their attack when it's their turn. Like, oh, I gotta plan my
right?
skeletons and invisibility spells and just go over the top on. We're gonna go through here and oh, I want to find a base that I can sneaky because oh, that like that's not try hard, but Ghost Knight trying to help you land a blimp in the right place is like that's he's getting a bad rap for that. I gotta
Yeah.
you gotta back off him. Okay.
I mean,
Quite frankly, without him, you got a whole bunch of people who are just, trying really hard and not admitting it because they're not very good.
I admit I'm not good. I just send it. I know I'm not good. But it's
Well, we all know
yeah,
how you
y'all
play.
know that. But
Get
it's funny
mad,
how
hit
much
the
shit.
vape. Get mad,
Yeah,
hit the vape.
it's funny how Knob calls him out. It's like half the time when he like tries to plan my attacks, I like lose interest in like 10 seconds because I forget what the fuck he's saying.
Yeah.
'Cause he tells me like if I'm going fourth, he tells me like our first hit. I'm like, I don't remember. Like by the time my hit comes up, it's like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
gonna do me.
that's my problem too. Like if the plan involves too many layers, then I'm gonna have to remember that I'm not used to
Yeah.
remembering. Like I already know it's gonna go bad. Like I can't tell you how many times when I was practicing like the Zap E Titans for a long
Mhm.
time to try to compete with box spaces, and there were so many times I'd get to the end and I just have like this whole line of different troops at the end that were at the end of the bar. I forgot they were there. I wasn't used to using them for anything, and I got to the end of the tack. Nothing went right. I looked down there and I'm like, why do I have those other 18 troops again? Like, oh no, I was supposed to remember that was part of the plan.
Right.
Forgot they were there.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So Town Hall 16, what are your predictions for Town Hall 16? What are they going to do different? How is it going to make it different from Town Hall 15? What do you think is the feedback that Supercell has listened to the most to try to make Town Hall 16 a success? I realize I'm hitting you with this early because we only
Yeah.
found out 2 days ago that it was coming. So I would anticipate that next weekend we'll have another like preview episode
Mhm.
where we might have some more thought out stuff. Maybe we've even seen some sneak peeks. But
Yeah.
as of right now, what are your early predictions for what we're going to see in Town Hall 16?
Apparently there's a new mode coming from Fatal. Anyway,
Do we dare believe the fatal predictions? He's
even
only
though he's
been
been
right every other time,
right.
except he
I'm
didn't know. He didn't know who's going to win Worlds. He
no,
didn't.
he didn't. He called it. Uh, I hope they do a better like with like the updating schedule because I hate oh like obviously we're getting an early town hall. Cool,
Well,
awesome.
and
But
Darren mentioned with judo that they were throwing out that whole rotating it through the
good.
different. So it's not going to be a clan capital builder base then town hall update like they had originally said.
Yeah, because that original plan was bullshit. Because a lot of people are just here to grind main town hall, like We get it. You need to update the other parts. Like sometimes when you're bored waiting on troops, you'll go do a builder base hit or a few or do some capital raids. That's cool.
They
But
also mentioned too. Did you read that big long message from Stewart in the game? The the
no.
the game lead. Stewart wrote and posted a big long message about how they've expanded the team and how
Mhm.
that's come with a lot of growing pains. Darian mentioned it in the video with Judo, but Stewart's he wrote this big long message, and I think you can find it in the game still. Um, but he's basically talking about how with the new Clash team that they have, and I think we saw a couple of the members of that team in one of those sneak peek videos where they're going,
Yeah.
"It's coming," right?
Yeah.
Like those are all people we haven't seen in previous development videos, but are now working on the Clash team. Their team there is much bigger than it used to be. With that comes a lot more capability to change
Oh
things
yeah.
in the game to update, hopefully more content. We saw a really good example of that with the Clash or the Clashoween mashup event.
Yep.
Like that was all new ideas. Hopefully they replicate stuff like that. But
Oh hell
there's
yeah.
there's new blood, there's new thought in Town Hall 16. So this is the first big update that I think this new development team is going to have.
Mhm.
I think Stewart mentioned that most of that team joined them sometime last spring, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about their last big update when they did like the Builder Hall 2.0 update,
Mhm.
most of that was actually thought about and probably developed by the old team.
Ooh.
So this is like this new bigger team's first shot at updating a town hall. So I think that means we should expect it to be a little bit different. Maybe that means it's a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's a
Mhm.
little more in tune with what a lot of the player base wants. But
Hopefully.
I'm wondering how much more they can put into the game without making this update just feel like it's way overwhelming to the people who want to stay up to speed with it. I don't know. What do you think?
Now now that you brought to mind, what if Darian's just pulling our chain like maybe like 4 or 5 months into Tunnel 16, they do an update and bring a new hero.
Oh, and stagger it.
Yeah. Cause like obviously Joe's like, oh, there's gonna be a new hero just right off the bat. And Darren's like, no, there won't be a new hero. Because there won't be right off the bat. They may be like 5, maybe 6 months in, there'll be a new hero.
Okay. I mean, I could listen. I would love the idea of having another hero so much that like I want to buy into that.
Yeah.
Bold prediction, and with a bigger team, like they could. Maybe that was something they
That's
wanted
it.
in 16, but they couldn't. They didn't have enough time to get it in by December.
Mhm.
Like the rational side of me feels like this rush to do Town Hall 16 is to make everyone feel better about offense in the game
Yeah.
and how tough Town Hall 15 was. And I think because of that, initially, Town Hall 16 is going to feel defensively a lot like, or 16 is going to feel a lot like 15, but offensively, it's going to feel a lot stronger.
Oh yeah. Because you need
And
new hero levels and shit. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure we'll get new levels of everything. I'm sure. I feel like I've seen like we saw the one new pet hopping around in the trees.
Yeah, that
Like
little
you've
weird
seen that
fox looking
spoiler
thing.
alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little blue and silver fox running
Yep.
around. Like I don't know what that guy's gonna do, but I bet he's got like some chain damage. Like maybe he's the ground version of like the Electro Owl or something like
Oh,
that. Or maybe he's got dual abilities. I don't know. Maybe Town Hall 16 pets are just going to be completely different. Maybe they're going to be similar to ones we already have. Maybe there's going to be like a second pet house where you can, I don't know, where you can add two pets to a hero or something like that. That'd probably be pretty cool too. If you're really wanting,
big.
if you're, and the idea of we're going to make offense stronger, because I
Mhm.
think that's most of the feedback they've gotten is if you want people to continue to play this game like they have for the last 11 years, you got to help the max players offensively a little bit. Doing a second pet would definitely be along those lines. Um, Getting extra levels to troops like the balloons and the Dragon Riders that never got them
Mhm.
at Town Hall 15. Those would be important. I don't know if there's some rework that they can do to other parts of the offensive game to help it out, but I would expect all that. I would expect a handful of new pets. We usually get one new troop, probably a new spell as well, although I'm
Oh, yeah.
not quite sure
Hopefully.
what spell they can do. I think that's part of the problem. Like there's a lot creatively you can do with new troops.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they can do with new spells just yet, but I'm sure they'll think of something.
They could do,
Um,
like, a fire spell. Kinda like the poison, but, like, in if you have, like, the flame finger or the queen charge, you can drop, like, couple like, a fire spell to, like, hurt the damage or, like, trying to
like a
funnel her in
fireball.
more. Yeah. You just drop it, and it's gonna be, like, kinda like the flame finger effect, but, like, a little stronger to help
So
funnel
like
your
a
queen charge.
poison, but on buildings.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. Maybe they could do something like that.
Just a mind thought. I know they're I saw a image of them trying to, like, rework, like, there's a new potion with, like I think it's just a jump spell. I think they're just taking the jump spell, but it looked like a jump spell with, like, roots on it. I don't know what that's about. Maybe you can drop that on, it's just gonna, like roots come out of the ground and just hold a defense or whatever, or a hero and a defense down. I don't know.
What if it like gives you the same ability of like a miner and that instead of
Ooh.
going over the wall, you dig yourself under the wall so that also while you're doing it, like if let's say a single inferno is locked on you,
Yeah.
but you hit that spell and you go under the wall, then all of a sudden the single is not locked on you.
And you have to wait for the queen to beat on a wall for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that'd
Oh,
be
yeah,
cool.
that would be. I'm excited, Rip Ghost Knight for, just getting to 15 and all of a sudden this drops. So, he's been
I'm,
grinding a
I'm
lot.
sure there's probably a lot of players in that boat out there that are like, man, that's my biggest concern is that Town Hall 16 is coming sooner, and that's gonna frustrate some players who hadn't finished their 15.
Yeah.
Because it's like for free to play players, like it has not been a lot of time to get finished with this Town Hall 15, unless you were grinding and
True.
playing every day.
Yeah.
Like you got to remember too, July was when they did the last updates, and there were still hero levels and stuff like that. Like there could be quite a few out there um, that could be in that realm of all right. They're making the end part of this game even further, and I've not gotten to it yet. I'm giving up. I'm not going any further. Hopefully, most players won't do that, but I think I my next biggest concern behind like losing players with this update, my next biggest concern, and it's not, I guess, I don't know. I haven't had enough time to really think how concerned I am about this, but the timing.
Mhm.
Launching a new update in December on the heels of just announcing that, oh, we hired all these new people to work on the team. Like, I don't think Supercell's hurting for money, but at the same time,
Maybe they are.
yeah, I'm afraid that they've pushed this town hall ahead of their normal updating schedule so that they can do it in December because December updates are always big money makers because people are
Yeah.
back to the game. It's Christmas time. There's always when you have an update, there's always big deals in the shop to purchase, right? But
Yeah.
also leading up to Christmas, there's big deals to purchase in the shop for Christmas, right? So you're gonna have a bunch of stuff to buy. People out there who are jonesing to update stuff are gonna have a lot of opportunity to figure out I can buy this to just avoid doing these updates. And I guess it concerns me a little bit that they might be rushing developing this content to try to capitalize on the money. I hope that's not the case, but there's a part of me that's a little concerned that that's what they're doing.
It could
What do
be
you think?
because they brought more people on, so maybe they did it too fast to bring all those people on, so maybe like, "Ooh, if we do it in December, if we do a bunch of packs or deals in the store or even just on their website, if you go to the Supercell store website, you can get the gold pass and gyms for cheaper. Maybe they'll do a little holiday December update deal on that. So that could be a possibility. They're just like, "Ooh, Like, obviously, I have a job now, so, I get paid next Friday, and if I see those packs in there, I'm
Just in
gonna fucking
time.
cash
Just
in,
in
baby.
time. Like, I'm officially
Uh,
telling all the family for Christmas, I want Apple gift cards.
right.
That's it.
Like, my family does, like, a little, like, white elephant thing where, like, we buy presents, like, my sister has an app, is like, I'm just gonna look for just Apple gift cards, and just tap that. Just give me that. I can get my Rush 15 done as fast as possible. I'm not worried about my other 15 because it's already almost maxed its walls. The only pet thing I have to upgrade is the fucking Lassie, which I'll just drop here after it's done upgrading this last like, fuck the Lassie, but, yeah, I'm
If we
excited.
get new pets, Lassie's about to be really, really
Oh,
irrelevant.
I think Lassie, and I know you like the Yak, but I think maybe the Yak might be
If they'll give me
depending on the abilities.
another wall breaking pet, then I'll
Yeah,
switch over to something else. Right now, that's why I like the Yak, is
yeah.
because he's tanky, it's more HP. I'm not super coordinated, so I need extra HP to forgive all the mistakes I make. But also being able to get through a wall and not take an extra wall breaker, I really like that. I
Mhm,
really like a lot of like when I'm doing farming attacks with the Town Hall 15, just trying to get loot. Like there are bases I hit that are not Legends bases, are not near as upgraded or as good.
mhm.
There's a lot of bases I hit there where the Yak stays up the majority of the hit, and it's just plowing through walls. And King's right behind it, and then usually Queen is not far behind that too. So they're just at the end of the attack, they're just mowing down whatever's left. And there's no other pet that does that for me. I get it. It's specific to the attack style I use,
I
but
mean, like, there's no other pet that can just mow through walls.
yeah.
But I'm excited to see the new pet abilities. I know there's, like, oh, one does freeze, blah, blah, blah. It's kinda like whatever, but, I know there's a turtle. I'm excited to see what that does.
There's a
Little turtle.
turtle?
I think that's what I saw the picture of. There's a little turtle.
Where are you seeing
Or it
this
looks
stuff
like a
at?
turtle. It's like a little turtle thing.
Where are you
It's a
looking at this at?
I can't look at it now because 'cause I'm
Well,
streaming,
where
but,
where did you see it? Are you looking at the
the thing I
Reddit
sent.
for oh. He didn't send me anything.
No, it's in, like, the FTB server. It was
Oh.
a while back. One of them looked
Those
like a little
dudes, those
like a
dudes,
little turtle.
those guys at FTV, like they talk a lot. Like that
Yeah,
chat was on point during the World's Finals.
I have to turn the notifications off for that, or else I look at my phone, I have, like, you have 60 Discord notifications, and it's just from them talking about random shit like Legends hits, and it's like, I don't care.
All right, so
I
let
do
me
care,
ask
but
you
I
this.
don't.
Let me ask you this for Town Hall 16. Do you think, since obviously our feeling has been like they've talked about helping out players with the next update.
Mhm.
Obviously, we feel like that's a move towards offense. Now we know that it's just a whole new town hall, which again we're assuming, and I don't think inappropriately assuming that that's to help out offense. Is there going to be any new defense at Town Hall 16?
Ooh. Well, I mean, let's see, if you look at 15, in order to make 15, they had to, uh, take some stuff out, like the barracks, they had to take some barracks out, so I think for 16, they're gonna have to do the same thing to keep it
Town
like.
Hall 15, they reduced the buildings to make way for the new ones. But then we also got it's one of the first town halls where we got two different types of defenses added because we had spell towers and the monolith.
Yeah.
Whereas at Town Hall 14, 14 was really just the battle builder huts. Like
Mhm.
that was the only new defense. 13 was the scatter shots. Um, 12 was the defensive clan or the defensive town hall.
Yeah.
11 was the eagle, you know, and then just working our way backwards from there. So I don't know if they're going to introduce a new one. I will tell you this, and this might be a bold prediction. If you watch that Hammer Jam video,
Yeah.
there's a clip in there where it looks like they upgrade like an archer tower, but then they combine them from two into one big one.
Ooh.
I'm wondering if one of the things that's going to change based off that, maybe if that's an Easter egg, that there's going to be a way to combine defenses at Town Hall 16, to where instead of having like just one regular archer tower, you could have one like mega archer tower.
Yeah, I can see that. But then there's if they don't bring in if they do that, they're still gonna have to bring another defense, or it's just gonna be like a better version of Town Hall 15. Like, they have to bring something in. But if they do that, then they can bring that something in, like, as soon as you combined your archer towers to make up a free spot on the map or even wizard towers, whatever you wanna do.
Yeah, but combining defenses, I don't know, maybe that's their plan for defensive strategy. Like you can pick which buildings you combine to do that to. And maybe there's only a handful, or maybe there's a limited number that you can do that for. But those defenses instantly become stronger and more viable after you do that. And
What
maybe
if
that's all that they do for defense because they want
okay.
to help offense out so much.
You get just thinking off the top of my head, you do, like, a mega spell tower or, like
Oh God.
yeah, dude. Or, like, combine 2 infernos, make, like, a mega single just to destroy your heroes. Ooh.
Combine two spell towers, which gives it double the range, and it shoots two spells at once.
Yeah. So it'd be it'd be like a invis and a free or a rage
Oh
or
my
a
God.
poison and
Like
a rage,
a double spell tower that just invisies the entire center of your base.
right? That'd be so sick, and then imagine just combining 2 infernos to make, like, a massive multi or single target and just destroy a hero, like,
Oh,
instantly.
I mean, single is the drawback would be on a single, you still gotta wait for it to build up to kill. Now it would do
Yeah.
it faster, right? But if you did multi infernos and you combined them, then all of a sudden, instead of what, 7 beams, you got 14 beams?
Yeah, just fucking going the Lalo would be n
Dead,
non-existent. It'd be
dead.
dead,
You're
which
not
I hope
loloing
for.
this base. On to the
Yeah,
next one.
which if I can combine 2 multis, I'm doing it right off the
Oh
bat,
my
putting
god,
it
and an Inferno Tower that's got twice the hit points too?
dude, that'd be intense. But you also gotta take an effect, obviously, your army's gonna be bigger, your spells you can bring more spells probably, but again,
The other good thing too is there's not 2 monoliths, so you can't combine them, and there's not 2 eagles, so you can't combine them.
manage 2 monoliths, a
Unless you
mega
can, like
monolith.
unless you can add a defense to those, like, all of a sudden, you add, like, a cannon to the eagle, and now the cannon shoots out of the eagle when you're trying to hit it. That'd be
Yeah,
annoying.
that'd be sick. That would I'm excited to see what they come
Listen,
up with, but if
there's a
they
lot they
combine
can do defensively. I
yeah,
hope they
yeah.
do none of it because I wanna be better at the game.
Don't we all? I wish I was better at the game.
Anything else you wanna talk about, you wanna theorize for Town Hall 16?
I do like my theory, I think in, 6 or 7 months into 16, maybe they come up with a new hero because the newest hero is the RC, you got that at 13. 16, come on, we need a new hero. It's been a while.
Well, and I have heard this too, like, Darian was talking about how they feel like they've covered a lot of what a hero's ability should do in the 4 that they have, but I don't think there's anything wrong with going back and doing a 5th hero, and maybe it does something similar to what some of the other heroes do.
Yeah,
Maybe you have a 5th hero, but you still only get to use 4 in an attack, so that you don't have to feel so bad about having one down to upgrade all the time,
yeah,
right? You just use the other 4. But what if you created another hero that was just very similar to the king, like it's just a big tank in some way, shape, or
mhm,
form, right? A lot of hit points, doesn't move super fast, really strong, does a lot of damage, but it's not super fast. And it was very similar to the king, but you wanted to do an attack strategy where having 2 of those was more beneficial to your attack strategy than having, like, say, the RC on the map.
ooh,
And
it
maybe you were doing some sort of ground and pound
yeah,
strategy where, all right, I'm going to take the RC out completely, put in this new hero, so I'll have 2 tanky heroes in the middle, smashing stuff up.
they do, like, the golem master or something, like a big ass golem as a
The
hero.
mountain golem.
Yeah, but maybe change the name, and then instead of splitting into, like, 2 things, it splits in, like, 6 things to even take even more.
The mini mountain golem.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential to bring a new hero. Hopefully, it's Elixir instead of Dark, because 3 Dark Elixir heroes is enough. We need an Elixir hero instead of a Dark.
What if they did like the Elixir Golem from Clash Royale? You ever seen that one?
A long time ago, yeah. They could do that. Or maybe even do a hero that takes gold to upgrade. No? Nah. But I'm excited for the update. I am excited that, Clash Champs won the Worlds, and this was the perfect time to do the pod.
So
But
our final thought question here though
yeah.
is final. So now we're now probably 2 weeks away from Town Hall 15 being
Mhm.
over as far as running the meta of the game. And during its meta was the entirety of our podcast recording experience.
Pretty
So
much,
it's
yeah.
been the only one that we've recorded where it's been the main town hall. And we've talked a lot about when it's been good, when it's been bad, when it's been frustrating, where we thought it was better. It wasn't always that much better. A
Mhm.
lot of complaining about it being too tough. A lot of complaining in general.
Yeah. A lot of meta changes too.
How do you think Town Hall 15 will be remembered after we get Town Hall 16? And let's say this time next year, we've been doing Town Hall 16 for a year. How are we going to look back and remember Town Hall 15? Because if you think about how we were talking about how we remember Town Hall
Uh-huh.
14, by the time it was done, Town Hall 14 was like, oh god, that was the easiest meta, and
Right.
everyone could triple, and everyone was awesome at the game, and it was just too easy. Even though in the process of going through Town Hall 15, that wasn't, or Town Hall 14, that wasn't always the case. That's how it got remembered.
Mhm.
How do you think long term Town Hall 15 will get remembered?
Ooh. I would think if they do bring a new defense to 16, it's gonna change it obviously, but, just from right off the bat, I think they're gonna be like, "Oh, the meta for 15 still works at 16," just freshly, but if we're going this time, it's kinda hard to. I would say my thing would be just, how OP Super Hogs were at the beginning, because you remember, like, when they, announced Super Hogs, they were OP destroying bases, and now they're, like, kinda slacking. I mean, they still do depending on the
I mean, apparently
attack.
Super Dragons are back in the meta because there's
Yeah,
a bunch of that at Worlds.
yeah, apparently, and the Stone Slammer. Super
Yeah,
Dragons and Stone Slammer is the
a
new
lot of
meta
stuff.
apparently. So, I think they're gonna talk about the meta a lot, saying, "Oh, the meta at 15 was, easier or maybe difficult to learn," and then depending on 16, I think it's gonna be the same as 15. Gonna be, like, hard at first or easy at first, then hard, then easy again for some people.
I think this time next year, we were talking about like, man, you remember how tough
Right.
Town Hall 15 was
Yeah.
for the majority of the time, and how they tried to give us an update in the summer and gave us a bunch of extra, like they gave us some extra hero level stuff like that, and then we still weren't any good at it. I
Right.
think when we look back, Town Hall 15 is going to be remembered as one of the toughest town halls for hit rates while it
Oh, for sure,
was
yeah.
the main town hall. And I think that most of the casual players out here like us are going to be thinking like, man, I remember I tried really hard to get good at Town Hall 15, and it was just really tough to be good. I think that Town Hall 16 is going to make us feel so much better about our offense that
Mhm.
that's how we're going to end up remembering Town Hall 15. We won't remember near as many of the successes we had at 15
No.
because we'll probably have more of it at 16. And I think that's probably by design. The game developers are
Oh,
probably
hell yeah.
trying to make it easier for offense. If you've got your stuff upgraded, make
Mhm.
it easier for offense at Town Hall 16, so that players can enjoy playing a little bit more as opposed to being frustrated about not
Yeah.
being as good at it.
What I'm excited is, I have my rush 15 going to max 15 and then get to 16. I actually have, almost, besides walls, 15 ready for the new town hall. Like, every time there's a town hall, I'm, like, 1 behind. I was like, "Fuck." So, I'm rushing 1 account to 15. My other one's nearly max, just have walls. So, I'm excited that I can actually, you know, get to the new town hall faster than I would if I was a 14 and 16 came out. Like, if I was 14 with my main account, I'd be like, "Fuck." And you know what I do? Just fucking rush the shit out of it because I'm sick. I hate waiting for new content, especially being a part of podcasts. Like if you're down a few town halls, like you have nothing to talk about. You can't experience unless you watch wars, which I try to do. Uh, you have nothing to talk about. You don't experience like the new shit. So I'm excited to actually have one max and one rust be able to experience the new shit.
I also think you look back at the last couple of Town Hall updates they've done.
Hmm.
Town Hall 11, I think. I feel like if I remember correctly, it was around for 18 months, if not longer. Town Hall 12 was a pretty consistent, I think I remember 18 months ish. That was around the
Yeah,
time they were announcing that was where they felt comfortable. 13 was almost exactly 18 months. 14 was almost exactly 18 months. Town Hall 15 is getting 14 months, essentially. I think it's going to be remembered as, quite frankly,
Taurus Town Hall.
one of the biggest misses
Yeah,
as a town hall because they had to exit out of it basically 4 months ahead of schedule. Um, and I do feel like that's more of the reason why we're getting the December update, more so than the skeptical side of me that's saying it's just a money grab by Supercell.
yeah,
And it might be a little bit of both, but I do think that getting it early is a reaction to just. I don't think that they feel like there's a way for them to fix Town Hall 15 the way it is to make it more enjoyable. So they're just going to move on to the next one early. And I think when it's all said and done, that's going to make us remember Town Hall 15 as one of the bigger failures as a Town Hall meta, even more so than Town Hall 14 might have been easier,
hmm,
but I mean, there are a ton of people playing. People like playing it. People like winning. Town Hall 13 was the same way. Town Hall 12 was, I mean, as far as I remember, was great. It was really
yeah,
challenging because you didn't have all the extra siege machines back then to play with for Town Hall 12, but
hmm,
it was competitive. It was strong, and a lot of people played. I think them bowing out of Town Hall 15 early, kind of waving the white flag. This one's not going to be remembered as the best ones. Even though I'll say this, I don't think it was bad. Like I kind of got used to not tripling very much,
right,
and I dealt with it. I came to peace with it. You know, I
yeah.
stopped I stopped trying as hard. I still like
It's
the game.
hey, I'm still the two-star champ according to Fatal, so with 15 anyway.
Aside
Rarely get
from
the 3 stars in
aside from all of
competition.
those other examples that say otherwise, still
Yeah,
the 2 star.
junk and samples don't count because
Yeah, that doesn't count. I was
yeah,
intoxicated.
I was plastered. I don't actually remember any of those, but, anyway, this was a great episode. I love how we did it right off the Worlds.
Yeah,
Everyone
how
watching.
how quick can we get this posted?
I'm gonna take a
Take a nap.
take a nap, let my
Yeah,
dog out.
been
I'll
up
edit it.
way too
I can
long.
get the audio posted probably today, but the video obviously will be posted tonight because videos take a while to post. But anyway, thank you guys for watching on this live stream and listening to the audio version. By the way, more downloads.
Congratulations, Clash champs, world
Facts.
champions, well deserved. Happy for them.
Last time
Good
I'm gonna
group.
say it. I'm glad I got it right. Anyway, guys, the more downloads we get, the more we'll be excited to do this. And thank you all for the support for the podcast, and we'll talk to y'all possibly next week.
And all 16, baby. Here it comes.
Oh.